Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to your intuitive week, your energy update for the week of November 10th. November 10th already. We've already gotten through the first full week of this month. And yeah, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope that you are taking things slowly, as slow as possible. And I do feel like we need to just jump into the energy update. It may be a bit shorter than usual because when I was tuning in, everything about the energy impressions for November that I shared last week were coming through as well. So instead of reiterating that, instead of just going over the same things, I would suggest to listen to the November energy impressions again if you have already listened, or listen if you haven't, because those themes, those insights, the guidance, very strong for this week as well, because it was the overall theme. But I did definitely get some insight about this specific week. And for anyone new listening, I do want to share how I receive these energy updates, these energy impressions. And for anyone who does hear me say this every week, maybe move ahead 30 seconds. But welcome to anyone who is new. And of course, welcome back if you have not already skipped forward. Welcome back to anyone who has already been listening. The way that I receive these energy impressions is I go into a nice meditation with intention, with the intention to receive insight, guidance, symbolism, anything that I can translate through my intuition for you and me that will help us move through the week with more clarity and more intention. So, everything I share is with that intention, but it may not all resonate. So, it is very important for you to listen to your intuition. Really trust what connects, what resonates, what feels like it was for you, where you go, oh, that makes so much sense for what I'm going through right now or this part of my life. But don't try to fit it into your life. Really use these energy updates as a way to practice discernment, to practice trusting yourself. And that's why I say, take what you need and leave the rest. Take what resonates and let go of everything else. But yes, let's get into the energy of the week. Let's get into the animal that came through for the week to inspire us, and some writing prompts, some journal prompts to help us deepen our insight even more. So here is your energy update for the week of November 10th. When I first opened up the meditation, the focus was on the heart. The heart was highlighted so strongly. And the way that I was receiving this highlighted spotlight on our heart in the meditation was that it felt like this week, for some of us, our heart is really clearing. Our heart may be clearing away, having the opportunity to heal in ways that it hadn't before. It feels like old stories that we've held in our heart, old regret, old embarrassment, old pain, that it is surfacing, but also that this week it may be much easier than before to let go, to really open up space in your heart that wasn't available before. Now, when we do have this focus on the heart and opportunities, it may not feel great, right? Like it may not be fun. It may feel very emotional and tender, but that is showing us what our heart needs. So if you do feel more tender and emotional, if you do feel for some reason you keep thinking about this one thing that happened so many years ago, or this one thing that happened to you so many years ago, it may be because your heart is ready to let go of that, ready to release. And when we make more space in our heart energy, our heart center, we have more space to not only to give love and compassion and kindness, to release judgment, but there's also more space for us to receive the love and compassion and kindness, to receive the forgiveness, to receive the gratitude and the thanks, to receive celebration, to receive all the goodness. Because when we're not used to receiving that, it can feel very uncomfortable. It can feel sometimes even painful because those parts of our heart have not been accessed in a long time. So this week, tend to your heart. Pay attention. Don't dismiss what you're feeling. Stay open to opportunities for you to really reconnect to your heart, to your self-love and self-compassion, kindness for yourself, forgiveness. And that makes it even easier for us to offer that without any expectation, without condition, not in a transactional way of giving everything, but being able to give and receive the kindness, give and receive the love, give and receive the forgiveness. So it felt very specific. There was a bit of a focus on the solar plexus, but that's for November. So that feels like that part of November that is really strong this week too. So focusing on the heart, but also paying attention to the energy in your solar plexus and making sure that you're tending to that space too. And of course, if you've listened before, you know that I do have recorded Reiki healing meditations for free on Insight Timer. So please have a listen. And I am doing my live heart healing meditation on Friday, this Friday, November 14th at 1 p.m. Pacific. And hopefully I will see you there. Okay, so the next thing that came through in the meditation was more of a scene. Now, the scene was a night sky, and we're walking through the person that represents us, me and you. In the meditation, we're walking through the night sky, and then we reach up, and this was so vivid and surprising, but so beautiful. So we're walking through the night sky is dark. There's not a lot that we can see around us, but the stars are bright. And we reach up and grab one of the stars, pluck it out of the sky, and bring it down to our heart. Holding the star in our hand and bringing it to our heart. So this week feels like we can revisit a dream, a wish upon a star. We can revisit a dream or a wish that we have held in the sky for too long. Not a new dream, not a new wish, but something you hung in the sky because there was zero belief that it could have been available to you or possible at all. So this is not the week to act on that dream or that wish that you hung in the sky. This is not about acting. This is about reconnecting, reconnecting to it. This is a week for reconnection to that wish or that dream for your life that felt completely impossible. And it feels like, if this is resonating, it feels like you have changed so much since you last dreamed of this. And maybe when you revisit, you are creating a new relationship with the wish or the dream because you're so different now, maybe more yourself, that that dream or that wish is finally ready to meet again. So take this week to feel into the why, not about action steps or inspired action or, really getting things done with this dream or this wish. No, this week is about connecting to the real intention, the real why or intention for why you wanted this dream, why you dreamed or wished in the first place. The real why. Maybe it was unclear before. Maybe it was more surface or shallow. Maybe that's why it's still hung up in the sky. Maybe the why is so much deeper than you thought it was. If you listened to last week, and remember, go listen if you haven't, and maybe re-listen because it's very strong, the themes this week too. But for November, it's all about unlocking. Unlocked. Something becomes unlocked. But because you are able to open it, you hold the key. And there's also a big perspective shift. Grounded, but such a higher view than ever before. And that feels very connected to what came through in the meditation about this dream, this wish, this star that we bring down to earth, to our heart. You can see it from a new view. You know how to ground your energy. You know so much more than you did. So that's why the reconnection is being asked to happen. That's why this opportunity is here to look at it again, to bring it down to earth, to you, to not have it as a wish or a dream, but have it as part of you that hasn't happened yet. And it feels like tending to our solar plexus and our heart, that this is a big part of that. That we need a strong, open heart and a strong, open solar plexus, the energy in those centers, those chakras, those support our dreams and our wishes. That's where we can connect to our trust and release doubt. That's where we can beam our heart energy to really feel where to go next, to listen to our heart. So this week is about reconnecting, tending to those spaces, tending to your dream, but not acting yet because you are creating a new relationship with it. This week is a reconnection. Think of it as plugging something back in. You're plugging that dream back into your heart. So it's going to take a minute to warm up and be ready to really turn on. So in the meditation, we're in the night sky, we're walking, we can't see that much, but the sky is bright. And it did feel as well, just another side note about the meditation as I'm tuning into it again, is that it's reminding us, because we're in this dark night, that there is deep wisdom in our energy. And it feels like part of that night sky is reminding us to look for any answers that we've been searching for that maybe are right there, waiting to be received, but we haven't been able to accept it. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to trust that you know enough. And maybe the clarity or the answers or the wisdom that you already hold doesn't feel like enough, but maybe it is enough. Maybe that's all you need to know right now. What happens when you let go of trying to understand and instead you allow yourself to stay open to receive, open to opportunities, open to inspiration, but not placing a meaning or an outcome on it. That's where the magic is. Okay, and the animal that came through in the meditation, not so surprising because of the night sky and the darkness, but it was the firefly. The firefly came through. The bright, beautiful, so special, so magical in its own right, because they have been declining so much over the years everywhere due to light pollution and pesticides and so many things. But then this past summer, there was a really big bump in a variety of populations in Canada and in Quebec, I believe. And that really sparked some hope and reminded me of the hope that firefly represents. So the firefly can inspire us this week. And as I share about the energy and symbolism that the firefly represents, pay attention to what resonates, what word resonates, where it brings you in your life. What is the firefly lighting up in your life coming into this week? So the firefly represents the energy of hope, inner wisdom, creativity, self-discovery, freedom, new cycles, welcoming change, inner child healing, self-love, shining, showcasing your talents, and heart and solar plexus healing. Because the firefly sometimes shines very bright yellow, but also a very bright green. And those two colors correspond with the solar plexus and the heart. And I wanted to share, because there is a really beautiful excerpt from Animal Speak. Love that book. Share from it all the time. But Animal Speak by Ted Andrews does share some really beautiful insight around the firefly. And I wanted to share that with you. And as I'm sharing it, just allow yourself to really pay attention. And as I share this excerpt, pay attention to when you feel that resonance, when you feel, oh, that was what I needed to hear. That is what I've been waiting to see or understand. That feels completely connected to A, B, and C in my life. Because if it does, that's because it is for you. So just pay attention to how it feels and what it tells you about your life. Fireflies, often called lightning bugs, are magical symbols of inspiration and hope. They are the promise of accomplishment through hope and efforts. They remind us that we have laid the appropriate groundwork, and from it will spring great reward. The blinking or flashing of the lights is performed for short periods, and each species has a distinct rhythm. Is it time to trust in your own rhythms, physical and spiritual? Our hopes will begin to manifest, and our ability to inspire will grow. Fireflies remind us that there are others who will respond to us and who are like us. They flash with similar creative rhythms. They will make their presence known soon, and they will make our life more creative and healthier. Fireflies generate light without heat. The glow emerging from so tiny an animal is sufficient to read a printed page, reflecting wonderful opportunities to make seemingly impossible a reality, inspiring wonders that will be flickering and manifesting around us. When the firefly appears, it is a wonderful time to jot down all of those creative ideas that are flickering in our mind through this time. We needn't worry about what to do with them now, for just by taking them out of the mental realm, their creative force is released into our life, and they will provide inspiration that will affect us for a long time in the future. The firefly looks ordinary during the day, but by night they sparkle, flickering like a star. They hold the promise of accomplishing our goals. Spiritual gifts are awakening. We are on the right path, and there are strong spiritual forces around us. When fireflies appear, people begin to reassess their former opinions and perspectives. We begin to shine and sparkle. Opportunities to fulfill dreams, to inspire wonder, and to awaken greater hope will begin to flicker strongly within our life. Remember that fireflies remind us that positive hope is a critical component to fulfillment and accomplishment. And I mean, how much does that connect to what I already shared, what I received in the meditation for us? I just love how in sync it is. And I hope you were inspired by it. I hope you saw the light within you grow as I shared. But the firefly is so inspiring this week. So trust the inspiration, how it feels to you. Maybe put up a picture of a firefly, have a look, see what it feels like within, and then picture or really feel that firefly energy. Close your eyes, picture it in your mind's eye or feel it. And using your imagination as a translator for your intuition, allow the light of the firefly to guide you. What unfolds? Where does your imagination go? This could be a really beautiful way to bring that dream or that wish down to earth. This is your guide this week. All right, so yes, some specifics about this week, some very interesting and exciting, a lot of hope and inspiration, reconnecting to yourself through all of these things. And to continue to help you reconnect, let me share 3 journal prompts, writing prompts. You can use these to answer in a voice note to yourself on just something to start you really thinking more about what you need to know. And you can also answer one or none. Trust what resonates. But the first question that you could answer for this week of November 10th, what perspective or view of your life is really shifting? And number 2, what dream or wish is ready to be brought down to earth and held in your heart? Trust what comes, don't judge it. And then if you wanted to, you could also add, how can you reconnect to it? Detail how you reconnect to it. And number 3, describe the why of this wish or dream. Why do you feel called to reconnect to it now? What is the purpose? What is the intention? What is the deeper why, which is there because now it's ready to come down from the sky into your heart? And that means you know the deeper meaning for why this wish or dream exists. So connect to the why and then reconnect to the wish or dream through the new understanding of the intention. And yes, please listen to November's energy impressions because that will help you get even more clarity around the month and this week. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to this energy update on Intuitive Seek. I would love to hear if or when you resonate with the energy that I shared and that we're moving through for the week of November 10th. And if you have any thoughts or questions, do not hesitate. Send me a message through my website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight. If you're curious about anything that I'm offering, working with me, how I can support you, please go to the links in the show notes. There you will find everything you need. Hugely appreciated if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give some support, then please share this episode with a friend, or you could also leave a review. So thank you so much again. Be extra kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next week.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very meaningful. Cat.